Hi guys, welcome again to Ask Milena. And today we're going to be talking about the single most powerful tool that we can use when communicating with others. And that is to listen, to really listen. Because most of us think that we do listen and that we're really good listeners. But in my experience, I can tell you that 95% of the time, that is not really the case. You have probably read that there's two main kinds of listening. One is you listen to respond, and then the other one is you listen to understand. If you try to rewind the tape just from your communications from today, for example, try to go back and think, did you really listen to respond, to give an answer, or did you really listen to understand? And how are these two different? When we listen to respond, we make the communication about us, our perspective, our piece of advice, our experience, our opinion about something. Whereas when we listen to understand, we're simply allowing the other person to share that experience without making it about us. I'm talking about a limited time frame that makes sense. Let's say 5 minutes, with having the intention to really understand the other person. What we experience very often, and I'm sure you can relate to this, is we start sharing something with someone, and it doesn't matter what it is. And then on the first or second sentence, in the middle of the third sentence, they would interrupt and say, oh yeah, this reminds me of when blah, blah, blah. Or for me, this is what happened. Or in my experience, or what I would do. And you haven't even asked for advice yet. Why do we communicate? Because we want to share an experience and we want to be understood most of the time. Yes, sometimes we ask for advice and all of these things, but we can't really ask for advice without having shared our experience or feel like we were understood in terms of what we have shared. Here are a few simple steps that you can do so that you can truly listen to the person next time you have an interaction with someone. The first one is to physically turn toward them. The second one is to give them your undivided attention. Drop your phone, drop everything else that you're doing, and if you're going to spend 3 minutes with this person, give them your undivided attention. Step number 3 is to try and understand. And if you ask any questions, have those questions be only clarifying questions, something that helps you understand what it is they're sharing. Step number 4 is to empathize. And to empathize doesn't mean, oh yeah, I know how you feel, because you might not. You can say, I can't imagine, I don't know how this feels, but I feel you, and I thank you very much for sharing that with me. Because sometimes just simply sharing something, especially if it's a painful experience, makes it easier to carry in a way. And the last step, which is optional and follow your own intuitive guidance when to do it and when not, is to ask, how can I help you, or can I help you with this? Is there any way in which I can support you in this, because I would really like to? Most of the time people say your presence is enough, you hearing me and being here is enough. And this can truly have the power to transform your relationships, because the number one thing that we seek in our communication with others is to truly be heard and be understood. And if you try that for a week and you incorporate that into your communication with people, you will see your relationship change. There are these people who see themselves as victims, are negative, constantly complain about others and blame others for the way that they feel or how they experience things. If you have an interaction with a person like that and they start doing that, do not feel like you really need to listen to them. What would be appropriate to do in this case is, and like we talked in a different video, is to set those healthy boundaries. Try this exercise for at least a week and let me know in the comments below what results you get. To book a session, go to askmilena.com and subscribe to my newsletter to get free tools like this one. Subscribe to the channel if you have not already. Click on the bell so that you can get notified of future videos. Next week, we're going to be talking about sex. So stay tuned, and I'll see you then.